So today, we're going to dive into a pretty fascinating framework for the modern-day lone wolf. And we're going to use the ancient wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita, not as some old text, but as a real, practical, psychological guide.
You know that feeling, right? You finally get home, you shut the front door, and you just kind of lean against it for a second. And there's that deep, deep sigh of relief, just from being away from all the noise, the fake posturing, and, the general chaos out there. Man, it is exhausting.
And for a lot of us, creating that personal sanctuary, well, it's not a luxury, is it? It's an absolute survival tactic. It's how you deliberately filter out the world so you can finally hear yourself think. But this brings up a really interesting internal conflict.
I mean, on one hand, you desperately need that solitude just to recharge your batteries. But on the other hand, you can't just check out completely. You still have to engage with the world, right? You've got to earn a salary, save your money, and invest it to protect that very sanctuary you've worked so hard to build.
And this is the real tension, isn't it? There's this little voice that worries that by focusing so much on your own peace, maybe you're just hiding from society. Maybe you're getting trapped in some kind of spiritual selfishness. It's a totally valid concern, and it's one that our guide for this whole explainer tackles head-on.
So we're turning to the Bhagavad Gita, but we're not going to treat it like some abstract piece of mythology. Nope, we're looking at it as a deeply practical user's manual for the human mind. The source material has this beautiful way of describing it. It calls it a priceless diamond, dense, multifaceted, and meant to cut right through all the confusion.
Okay, so to start cutting through that confusion, first we have to understand who you are. You might feel like you've got all these contradictory personality traits just fighting for control inside you. But what if I told you this ancient framework suggests that's not a contradiction at all?
This framework maps these ancient qualities right onto your modern reality. You've got the Brahmin quality, that's your drive to learn and not cause harm. You've also got the Kshatriya warrior energy, that's you fiercely protecting your mental space from bad ideas. Then there's your inner Vaishya, who's pragmatically saving and investing your money. And finally, the Shudra quality, which is you doing the hard intellectual work to earn your salary. And let's be super clear, this is all about your psychological nature, your mindset. It has nothing to do with the rigid, birth-based caste system.
So you see, your supposedly mixed-up personality, it's not a bug in your system. It's more like you've intentionally specced your skill points into all 4 classes so you can survive as a solo player in a multiplayer world. This hybrid nature is the psychological architecture you have purposefully engineered to protect your own peace.
So if this is the blueprint for who you are, how do you actually live it out? Well, it all starts with engineering your environment. And it's based on a surprisingly practical ancient principle. The ancient yogis were incredibly practical people. The text mentions this fascinating little detail. Before they would meditate, they'd lay down something called kusha grass. Now, why would they do that? Well, turns out the grass gives off a scent that naturally repels annoying insects. Think about it. You can't really focus on higher truths if you're constantly swatting away mosquitoes, right? It's all about engineering your environment to remove friction.
And that brilliantly explains what you're already doing. When you soundproof your room, or you buy that really comfortable chair, or you invest in a home in a quiet neighborhood, you are literally laying down your own modern kusha grass. You're keeping the bugs, all those draining external energies, out of your sanctuary so that you can actually focus. But there is a huge warning label that comes with this.
And here's the trap. It's the trap of the mithyachari, which basically means the pretender. This is the person who locks their front door, but their mind is still out there, stuck in the world. They're sitting in total silence, but inside their head they're replaying arguments with coworkers or just endlessly worrying about the future. See, physical isolation does not equal mental peace.
So how do you avoid being a pretender? I mean, how do you go out into the world, do your job, earn your money, and then come back to your sanctuary without dragging all that mental baggage back in with you?
Well, the Gita offers a powerful technology for this, and it's called karma yoga. This is the art of acting with complete and total dedication, but without being anxiously attached to the outcome. Now, you might be thinking, wait, if I don't care about the result, won't I just get lazy? This framework argues the exact opposite is true.
The source material uses this simple but honestly brilliant analogy. Let's say you have 2 workers. First, there's Rahul. Rahul puts 100% of his mental energy into the task at hand. He is completely present. Then you've got Bablu. Bablu only puts about 50% of his energy into the task because the other 50% is completely consumed by anxiety. Will I get that promotion? What if my investments fail?
So just objectively, who's going to do better work? It's Rahul, of course. His focus isn't fractured and wasted on worrying about the future. By detaching from the results, he actually achieves a state of peak performance in the action itself. It's a total psychological hack for maximum efficiency.
So really, it all comes down to a mental shift. You still go out and earn your salary, you still protect your investments, you still build your sanctuary. But you do it with this internal understanding that you are a caretaker of these things, not their ultimate owner. And that simple shift, it just dissolves that ego-driven anxiety of needing to control everything.
And this brings us to the ultimate armor. Because to truly protect yourself from the world's heavy energies, you have to understand what it is you're actually protecting. And the Gita draws this razor-sharp line between your body and your true self.
The text is incredibly unsentimental about our physical bodies. It's just described as a biological machine, a temporary sack of chemicals, that's bound by these inevitable phases, from birth to growth, all the way to death. It's basically programmed to eventually break down. It is not you.
Because while the body is temporary, your true self, the soul, is described as being absolutely indestructible. Fire cannot burn it, water cannot drown it, the wind can't dry it. It's eternal, it's unchangeable, and it is completely untouched by the material world.
Imagine you're playing a hyper-realistic, super stressful VR game. Your avatar in the game, which is your body, your bank account, your social status, it takes damage. It has to deal with toxic players. Your heart starts racing. But then you remember, you can just take the headset off. The real you, the player, is sitting safely in a quiet room, completely unharmed. That feeling of relief, that is self-realization.
And when you truly know that you're the player, not the avatar, suddenly, all the things inside the game lose their power over you. The gold, the pebbles, the praise, the insults, it all becomes just pixels on a screen. None of it can actually hurt the real you.
And this just reframes everything. You aren't just an introvert hiding from annoying people anymore. No, you are a warrior, and you are fighting a much higher level battle. The war isn't against them. It's an internal war fought against your own ignorance, using the weapon of this knowledge to become fearless.
Which really leaves us with this final thought. You've been working so hard, right? Investing your money and your energy to build this physical sanctuary with thick walls to keep the world out. But if your true self is already indestructible, if it's already completely immune to all those heavy energies, could it be that the ultimate impenetrable sanctuary you've been searching for isn't something you build at all, but something you simply realize has been there, within you, all along?